10 skills that will make you rich. Number 1, discipline. Success in business and life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Your ability to keep putting one foot in front of the other, no matter how difficult, what the weather's like, what other people say, or are you feeling each day is what will get you to the finish line. It doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve. If you cannot discipline your actions, you're probably not going to get it. So what is discipline anyway? It's your ability to dig deep within yourself, identify your true goal, and then act every single day in accordance to that ideal. If you want to get in shape, it means mastering your nutrition and hitting the gym every single day. It doesn't matter if it's snowing outside, if you don't feel like it, or there are other distractions which you'd rather be doing. Discipline means you will take care of the most important tasks related to your long-term goal before anything else. You cannot let a single day pass without closing in the distance between your current reality and your target. This might sound easy in theory, but it's the number one reason why people fail in life. They are unable to discipline themselves to put in the work over extended periods of time. How do you develop discipline? Number 1, define what you want. Number 2, evaluate why you want it. Number 3, eliminate distractions. Number 4, prioritize the most important tasks over everything else. And number 5, track your progress. Number 6, keep yourself accountable. And discipline and habits, although different things, work hand in hand. If you've never tried to self-discipline, meaning you've scored yourself with a 1 or 2 here, it's really time for a change. We recommend you start with small things, so we have a challenge for you. Wake up at the same hour every single day and make your bed for 21 days. 95% of you will fail this, but it's more important than you think. Now, the first part will make you discipline your time. It's up to you how many hours you wish you sleep per night, but you have to wake up at the same hour every single day. You'll find it more difficult than it seems because it's so easy to oversleep. The second part is the first step in organizing your life. Making your bed every single morning after you wake up will give you a sense of control over your environment. Now think about what we're asking you to do. Wake up every single day at the same hour and make your bed. This will start creating order in your life and will allow you for other things to come into effect. 21 days isn't a long time to test this, but if you manage to pull through, you'll find yourself increasing your self-discipline score by at least 1 point. Every successful individual we've known or read about is self-disciplined. They know what they need to do every day in order to get to where they want to go. If you can't even control your time and organize your environment, you have no shot at running a large business, and it's best to accept that this is not for you and you need to rethink what it is you wish to do with your life. Number 2, emotional intelligence. People think that IQ is really important if you want to be rich or successful. The truth is, having a high IQ could be a bonus, but it's not what will make you rich. High IQs rarely correlate to financial success, because money isn't the result of word comprehension, math skills, abstract and spatial thinking, but instead it has to do with understanding how people work, how they think, what they want, need, and how to really understand that information. Emotional intelligence is far more important in business and life than IQ. You don't have to be smart in school to be rich. The truth is, most A students end up working for B- and C students because while the A students waste their time trying to memorize all the useless information you get in school, which does not apply to real life, B and C students are spending that time learning about others, interacting with them, and developing their social skills. Business and life are not about how able you are to regurgitate information, but instead connect the dots in the real world and find ways to build your life on top of that. In order to assess how strong your EQ is, ask yourself, how well do you understand people? Is it easy for you to tell how other people feel, what they want in general, and what makes them behave the way they do? Rate your emotional intelligence from 1 to 5 now. If you scored below 3 on this one, Here's what you can do to enhance it. We're going to break this into a two-part process as well. The first part has to do with yourself. Take a piece of paper and start to analyze your own feelings. Write down how you feel right now. What about the last time you were really sad? What happened and why were you sad? What about happiness? Try to do this exercise for as many emotions as you can. This will help you understand yourself better and get in control of your emotions. The second part has to do with other people. Next time you're having a conversation with someone, try to actively listen and understand the other person. When they talk, be in the present and not listen to the voice in your head, which only think of what to ask next. Very few people are able to actively listen instead of just hearing things. Those who do have a way better shot at working well with people, and guess what? If you want to be rich, you need to work with others and be in control of your feelings. Number 3, self-motivation. Things will get hard in your journey, and to be honest, you're in this alone. Yes, your family and friends will be around you, but it's within yourself where you really make the decision to put in that time and effort. If you're unable to motivate yourself, we've got bad news for you. You're not going to make it. Self-motivation is one's ability to overcome obstacles in your mind that tell you you can't do it or why you should even bother. Not bother. Self-motivation is when you get yourself to put in the work because you want it so bad that nothing will stop you. Even if everybody around you doubts you, your desire to achieve the life you want is so strong that nothing can pull you back from getting it. Along this list, you'll realize how strongly all the things we mentioned are interconnected and how together they form a strong net or structure on which one can create progress for themselves. People who are lazy in general lack this ability. Your inability to self-motivate will lead to time being wasted. It might not seem much skipping work today, but they all add up and snowball to a life of mediocrity. Here's what you need to do if you want to improve yourself in this regard. The first part is to once again dig deep within yourself and find what the perfect life would look like for you. Let's do this experiment right now. In an ideal work, there are no boundaries. What would be a day in your perfect life? B. Close your eyes and try to visualize it to the very details. What does your morning look like? Where are you? Who are you with? What do you do after your breakfast? What does the house you live in look like? What do you do in the afternoon? What are you wearing? What do you feel? What do you smell? What does that life taste like? Now, what you just experienced is your life goal. This is why you will put in the work. If you do everything right, you can make it happen. The second part is creating reminders of what that life is like. We recommend changing the background of your devices to fit that life. We look at them multiple times during the day, and every time you'll see it, it will remind you that you need to work harder if you want to get it. This is how you motivate yourself when times are hard. The goal is bigger than everything and all the hard work worth it. Number 4, maintaining focus. Everything around you has engineered to distract you. We live in a world where attention is the new currency. We see a trend among people where it's increasingly hard to maintain focus because every day, more and more distractions try to hook you in. Maintaining focus has to deal with one's aptitude to choose activities which will serve your ultimate goal over activities that feel good in the moment, but have little rewards for the long run. Carpe diem sounds good on paper, but it never led to anyone who's built anything worth mentioning in their lives. How focused are you on your journey? Let's take yesterday or even today if you're watching this later in the day. Apart from reading basically this article on YouTube, which actions did you take today which will impact your future? Break down for yourself what you did throughout the day from the moment you woke up to the moment you want to sleep or this moment right now. How many of them contribute to your journey? How many are just time being wasted? We recommend doing this analysis of your day at least once a week in order to determine if your focus is increasing or decreasing over time. You'll discover that you're wasting incredible amounts of time on things that add little to no value to your current or future life. You don't need to binge watch everything on Netflix or spend hours playing video games. That is, if you want the life you visualize at number 3. Number 5, reading. Successful people read a lot of books. On average, they read around 50 books per year, while the average person reads only 1.5. You need to start reading. And also, we're considering like audiobooks in there as well. And you need to do it right now. Reading is better than watching videos or audiobooks because the brain processes text differently than it does with video or audio. When you watch the video, the visualization of the information happens on the screen. When you read, the information is processed within and makes correlations to your internal memories in reality. Imagine you can absorb the knowledge someone gathered in a lifetime in a single week just by reading a book. Reading involves your main asset, which is yourself. Number 6, play the long game. Everything you've done in life so far has been for the immediate future. You studied in school because you had a test the following week. You watched all episodes of Friends because it made you feel good in the moment. You're eating junk food because that's a more accessible thing for you right now. If you wish to be successful in life, your mindset needs to change dramatically. You need to stop looking for shortcuts, for get-rich-quick methods. You're not going to like what we're about to tell you, but it's the truth. It would take between 7 and 10 years to change your life. Being successful requires you to think ahead and take actions now, which will have an impact over the long term. The quicker you realize there's no other way around it, the quicker you can start to take the right types of action. 10 years might sound like a lot of time, where plenty of things can happen, but time will pass either way, and without a plan, you'll find yourself 10 years later doing the same mistakes, but filled with more regret that you didn't take action. We recommend that once you find what your end game will look like, to deconstruct which are the things that need to happen for you over the next few years, which will take you as close to that goal as possible, and then focus on getting closer to those things. There is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. Number 7, continuous learning. Rich and successful people never stop learning, not only through reading, but learning from everything that's around them. It's incredible how much you can learn about life from just observing what's happening. Your success depends on your ability to continuously learn, acquire new skills, and use those to further yourself. The goal is not to know as many things as possible, but to understand as many things as you can. There's a crucial difference between the two. The first one fills your mind with information, while the second one allows you to connect dots others might not be able to see. The first one will drive you mad, while the other will help you understand the world. Ask yourself, when is the last time you've actually learned something that is of real value, which made your life or the life of those around you better? This is how you keep track if you're growing or not. Continuous learning is about improving your current self on a consistent basis. This will ultimately lead you to make better decisions and live a more fulfilling life. The moment you stop learning, you start to die. Number 8, how to sell. Selling has a bad rep because most people think of it as manipulation instead of rationalized persuasion. Everything you do in life is a form of selling, from the minute you're born, when you're crying in order to get milk, to the moment you die. Life is about interacting with others, and selling is just convincing someone of the merits of an exchange. If you learn how to do that, you have a shot at winning at life because you're going to have to sell a lot of people on a lot of things in your journey. You have to convince your partner to be with you. You have to convince your friends to trust you. And if you want to be rich, you'll have to prove that whatever it is you are offering is worth exchanging for money. This is the basic, folks. If you're unable to understand the fundamentals of transactions, you're going to have a hell of a hard time trying to get rich. The following line will forever change the way you look at money. People will trade their money for things that they find more valuable than the money they just spent. Take a minute to read that again and run it through your brain. People will trade their money for things that they find more valuable than the money they just spent. If needed, pause the video, write it down, and think about it. The reasoning applies to time as well. People will trade their time for money if the money they receive is perceived as more valuable than their own time. If you know this to your core, it will make you a great salesman. You'll be able to rationalize their decision process and make the sale easier. This article is about getting rich, which means getting money. But the same principle applies to every time of trade in life. Help me with this because I will help you with that. Number 9, learning to outsource. Now that you know how to sell someone on your ideas, it's time to buy yourself the most valuable thing in the world, which is time. Everyone who is rich or successful understands the importance of time and the fact that it is a limited resource. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and no matter how much hustle you put in, you can't work more than that by yourself. That's when you start to acquire the time of others and use it for your goal. In order to be successful, one must be aware of his own strengths and use those to get ahead. In any business or any project, there are time-consuming tasks which are of repetitive nature. Basically, you do the same thing over and over again, and this takes a lot of time. Here's how to approach outsourcing. First, you have to break down your entire process from beginning to end. Then look at the actions you take every single step of the way and determine which are the most time-consuming. Are there any repetitive tasks which demand a lot of time but not your creative mind? If yes, there are the ones you should outsource as soon as possible. Then you find someone who you train to do that single task, no more, no less. Now you've got an extra time slot which you can use to expand or come up with creative ideas. One of the mistakes first-time entrepreneurs make is that they try to do everything themselves because nobody can do the job as well as you can, and it's true. Nobody cares about your business more than you do. But remember this, done now is usually better than trying to be perfect than never moving forward. Number 10, marketing. Many people confuse selling with marketing, and although they happen to be in the same area, they are basically there's fundamental differences between the two. Listen up, everyone, because this is the type of knowledge you only get during really expensive MBAs at the top financial universities, and you're getting it here for free. To put it in the simplest form possible, selling has to deal with the needs of the seller, while marketing is focused on the needs of the buyer. You sell something because the company needs to make a profit. You market something as a solution to a problem. These two are tracked differently as well. You track sales by profits and marketing by the customer's satisfaction or reaction. Marketing is the art of communication to vast amounts of people in a simple and easy way to understand what your product or service is and how it can make their lives better. Make sure to subscribe, check out other episodes about personal finance and personal finance stories. Learn more about personal finance and making money in the description. Check out 40inbox.com and hit the like and bell to stay notified. Leave a comment with what you want to learn about in future episodes.